it's mainly our differences that work together. We're different, but I think that's what makes us similar.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's great.
All right.
Good answer.
Sweaty hands?
Mom's the most different.
How is she different?
She's like works hard on everything. She's strong, mentally and physically, and she's really emotional. Really emotional.
Mommy and Daddy love us very, very much. When I was a baby, Dad used to hold me and sing a song. Daddy used to sing Boom Boom Firepower to me.
Boom, boom, firepower.
I think Mommy and Daddy are equal.
Me too.
I'm more like Mom because we like have the same thing in common.
Like what? The hair, the dancing.
Like the dancing. I'm like Dad because
You're exactly like Mom.
I'm like Dad because I don't look like him, but he just acts like him. I just act like him.
You act like Mom. You're like you're looking in the mirror.
Because I act like Mom and Dad.
I act more like Dad because I'm sarcastic, like extremely sarcastic.
You're not sarcastic, really.
Oh, I'm totally not sarcastic. We love you. Happy anniversary.
My first meeting with her, she was getting her cell phone fixed over in Oakland. And I told her to give me her number. She told me no.
Well, he demanded my phone number, and I didn't want to give him the time of day. So I decided to give him my number. We talked, and then he wanted to hang out, and I said, okay, we can go on a date, which he didn't even know what a real date was. So I had him pick me up at my mom's house, like a gentleman should. We went on our first date.
I guess at that time, I didn't know what dating was. My idea of a date was just going out meeting people. She actually wanted dinner, movies. That wasn't the thing that I knew about, so she was my first date, and that's kind of like one of the things that made me fall in love with her, because it was a true, sincere, she was a good person. So our first date, we went out to Sports Rock down in the Strip District. And I'll never forget it because I kept running outside to go smoke a cigarette because she didn't know I smoked at that time, so I kept sneaking out to go smoke cigarettes and stuff. But it was fun. She demanded a lot of respect from me, so that made me want to give her everything that she wanted.
I just remember I was really shy with him. He kept wanting to take me to eat, and I didn't want to eat in front of him.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out.
Our first kiss, it was like out of a movie. I dropped her off at her mother's house. I left, and then I called her like 2 seconds after and was like, hey, can I come back and get a kiss? So I went back and I gave her a kiss, and was like, from that moment, I just knew like she was a great woman.
You know, after hanging out at the local bar down there where we ended up, he dropped me off at my mom's house, he left, and then like 15 minutes later, he called me to come back to have a kiss. So I gave him a kiss. I thought that was like the sweetest thing because he was like a somewhat of a thug, you know what I mean? So when he did that, that was really nice and sweet. So I like that a lot about him.
All of me loves all of you.
When I first realized in love with her, before we went on our first date. Because I talked to her a few times, and I would actually call her every day at 3:45 when she got off from work, just to see what she was doing and talk to her, see how her day was. She was someone who was interested in me and not the things that I can do for her.
When I knew I was in love, it just felt right. It was magical. You know, hanging out, talking. We actually went out one night, and I finally let him know where I lived. And the whole night, I'm sure he had something else on his mind, but we just talked the whole night until the sun came up. And that right there, it was like no other that night. And then the next day, he showed up with a John Eagle bag, and I said, oh, we're not playing house. But after that, it just felt right. I've never felt that with anybody else.
You're crazy and I'm out of my mind.
It was a little weird. We were standing at the gas station. She was getting scratch-off lottery tickets, and I just got down on one knee in the middle of the lottery line at the gas station. I asked her, would she be my wife? She said yes, thankfully.
And we stopped at the Sunoco, and I like lottery tickets, so I went and got my lottery ticket and something to drink, and I was in line, and I turned around, and he was down on one knee and proposed in front of everybody, and everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, at a gas station. But it was surreal, because that was just his moment, and when he proposed, I said yes. And even though it was only a week after we started dating, it was everything.
No, it wasn't planned. It was I just knew she was the one.
You're my end and my beginning.
I can't be any more happy. You're everything to me. I know that you give most of the credit to me and everything. I can't be any more happier. My words can't even describe how happy I am with us as a family and as a unit. And I'm looking forward to 100 more years.
Well, hon, it'll be 10 years. And not too many people can say that they've been together for 10 years after only being together for a month and a half. I just want you to know that I love you, and you're my world, and so are my children. Without you guys, I'm nothing. So just so you know, I love you, okay?
Being that our story is so unique, typically people do not, do an anniversary party until like their 25th or the 50th. But I think coming from where we came from, I think it's more than just a milestone. I think it's something that should be celebrated because of our story and how unique it is. And I think that it just calls for a celebration.
Isn't it? Not too many young people our age get married after a month and a half and stay together for 10 years.
But I think as a team, as a whole, I think we all work together because we take care of each other. The girls help out their big brother, and their big brother helps out their sister. And I think just together we're more of a team than a family. We're more of a team.
Team Hanks!